let me go through the NFL notebook, and we'll just streamline quickly. Cleveland Browns. They got issues on a couple of different fronts. They've lost the devastating injury, might be career-threatening, Nick Chubb. Dislocated kneecap, may have at least 2 torn knee ligaments. We're talking massive rehab. This is one of the best power runners in the National Football League. That's a shame because he was the engine that made everything else work in Cleveland offensively. Sadly, this is the same left knee that he had 3 ligament tears while he was at the University of Georgia in 2015. They went back into the marketplace quickly. I don't know why this guy was still available, but they brought him back. Kareem Hunt, who is Nick Chubb's backup, who played a lot in third down situations, ex-Brown, ex-Chief. Kareem Hunt has just signed. He'll be ready to play this weekend. The key thing, he walks in the front door. He knows the playbook. The other big issue, nobody's talking about it yet. I watch closely both these Browns games. Deshaun Watson does not look like the Deshaun Watson who was a starting quarterback and putting up really good numbers in Houston until he got himself in trouble off the field. He just doesn't look right. And I don't know whether it's him having been away from football for more than a year, although he had the second half of last season and all the OTAs to get ingrained in the system, or whether what Kevin Stefanski is running from a playbook standpoint just doesn't work. So that's a big issue there. So that's the Browns story. This is not a good story with the Raiders. I mean, they're 1-1. They don't look like they have all the bullets in the gun to fight the fight. Now they got a problem with their starting defensive end, who they paid a lot of money to, in Chandler Jones. Left the facility 2 weeks ago, got involved in a pile of social media issues with the owner, the general manager, the head coach, barred from the facility, has just ranted and raved. An emergency call was made and a crisis command went to his home to check his mental health out. Nothing happened at that point in time. He has now been put on the NFI non-football injured list, which to me means a mental health issue. And they're not communicating. And there's a huge issue because they just gave him 3 years, $51 million. This is not a good situation for him to be acting the way he's acting. NFL Players Association, John, has lots of programs that they can offer their players who have problems. Why the NFL union has not done with their doctors an intervention to help this guy, because he's a pretty good football player, but right now it looks like he's got a lot of problems off the field. And somebody needs to explain to me what's happened to Josh Jacobs, the running back, who held out and then finally came to camp and signed a 1-year extension. Last week, John, I've never seen this before. This is a star running back, Pro Bowl running back, big-time running back. 9 carries, minus 2 yards in offense. That's absolutely amazing. And Jimmy Garoppolo is the quarterback, but I think historically he manages games. I don't think it goes out and throws for 420 and win games. So right now the Raiders just don't seem right. And in terms of the Rams situation, on the field, they're 1-1. Off the field, another issue with their star running back, Cam Akers. Now he's gone. They traded him late on Wednesday night to Minnesota, and this was a high draft pick. They traded him, and all they got out of it was a 6th-round draft pick. So he goes to the Vikings. They'll provide Minnesota a lot of dart and dash run. They'll work on him catching the ball out of the backfield. In 2 full seasons with the Rams, as a part-time guy, he had over 1,600 all-purpose yards. So the guy is productive. The guy is young. The guy's recovered from the Achilles injury. But boy, there was some disconnect between him and Sean McVay, and him barking about, I need the ball all the time. And they were running their offense to a lot of other people along the way. So he's done with the Rams. He goes to Minnesota. He'll help probably immediately for Kevin O'Connell's Vikings. But to me, it leaves, I think, a huge hole in the Rams offense. And I don't think they're a complete offensive football team right now because of the injuries, etc. So, John, I threw a lot at you. Give me your response to the Browns, to the Raiders, to the Rams.
Well, the Rams, as far as they're concerned, I see a lot of the feedback on social media to the content we're putting out there. The Rams fans, the few that exist, are still pretty fired up for this team. They think that they're playing better than they expected. They thought that they were in that game against the 49ers. So, maybe they're going to keep kind of doing better than we expect. We'll see here. But going back to the Browns, though, I mean, what a disastrous, injury. I don't know. Did they ever show that on television? I think they kind of shielded us from it.
One time they saw it, and it was, from what I was told, the angle that his knee bent when he took the hit. It wasn't a cheap shot hit; it was just a blow to the leg, and his cleats planted, and he went one way, the leg went the other. It's a gruesome injury, and I fear, because it's the second time this has happened to the same knee, almost the exact same type of injury. I fear this is career ending, because it's tough to come back from one, much less come back from twice.
But I'm with you on Deshaun Watson. I watched that game and I'm thinking, this guy is one of the top quarterbacks in the league. I mean, I just didn't see it.
Concur with you wholeheartedly.